Dear friends, welcome to yet another episode of the virtual classroom of School Time. I am Kavita, English teacher in NMHSS Telembra. Today, we are going to discuss the first unit of your English course book. In this unit, you can see 3 chapters, 2 short stories and 1 poem. The poem, Lines Written in Early Spring by William Wordsworth, you have already studied in the last English class. Okay, tell me, what was that poem about? Yes, you are correct. It was about the relationship between man and nature. It highlights the importance of living in harmony with nature. Okay, correct, good. Okay, tell me, what is the title of this unit? It is Glimpses of Green. Yes. Do you know the meaning of the word glimpses? Yes, it's a short view of something. Then what is green? Green symbolizes nature. So this unit is a short view of nature. Okay, children, look at this picture. What do you see here? Yes, a picture of wonderful nature. A picture of a wonderful nature. What makes our nature wonderful or beautiful? Yes, you are correct. Birds, plants, flowers, rivers, mountains, etc. make this nature beautiful. Okay, we can say that nature is our home. How? Yes, it gives us fresh water to drink, pure air to breathe, food to eat and land to stay. So, we can say that this nature is our home. We cannot say that we are going to visit nature because nature is with us. It's our home. Nature is not a place to visit. It's our home. Okay, children, can you write a write-up on this topic? It's an assignment for you. Can you write a write-up on this topic? Nature is not a place to visit. It's our home. Try to write a write-up and send it to your teacher. Okay, tell me, have you ever got a chance to spend your leisure time with nature? How do you feel? Happy? Why? Because being one with nature is always mesmerizing, right? This nature is for all living beings. So, we should remember one thing. We should live in harmony with nature. We have the right to live in harmony with nature. We have the right to enjoy nature without destroying its ecological balance. That thing we have to remember always. Here, in this story, in the first story, Adventures in a Banyan Tree, we can see a boy who loves nature, who loves to spend his time with nature. Before entering to the story, let's see who wrote this story. Listen to his profile. Who wrote this story? Ruskin Bond. Listen to his profile.
Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond is an Indian author of British descent. He was born on May 19, 1934. He wrote his first novel at the age of 17. He received the Sahitya Akademi Award for his short stories. He now lives in Lanter near Missouri.
Okay, children, take your textbook. We are going to read the story. For the convenience, we can divide this story into 2 sections. First 6 paragraphs, first section. The rest, second section. Okay? Okay, now we are going to read the story. Remember, underline the difficult words while reading. Okay.
Adventures in a banyan tree. Though the house and grounds of our home in India were grandfather's domain, the magnificent old banyan tree was mine, chiefly because grandfather, at the age of 65, could no longer climb it. Grandmother used to tease him about this and would speak of a certain Countess of Desmond, an English woman who lived to the age of 117 and would have lived longer if she hadn't fallen while climbing an apple tree. The spreading branches of the banyan tree, which curved to the ground and took root again, forming a maze of arches, gave me endless pleasure. The tree was older than the house, older than grandfather, as old as the town of Dera, nestling in a valley at the foot of the Himalayas. My first friend and familiar was a small grey squirrel. Arching his back and sniffing into the air, he seemed at first to resent my invasion of his privacy. But when he found that I did not arm myself with a catapult or a gun, he became friendlier. And when I started leaving him pieces of cake and biscuit, he grew bolder and finally became familiar enough to take food from my hands. Before long, he was delving into my pockets and helping himself to whatever he could find. He was a very young squirrel, and his friends and relatives probably thought him headstrong and foolish for trusting a human. In the spring, when the banyan tree was full of small red figs, birds of all kinds would flock into its branches. The red bottomed bulbul, cheerful and greedy, gossiping rosy pastures, and parrots and crows squabbling with each other all the time. During the fig season, the banyan tree was the noisiest place on the road. Halfway up the tree, I had built a small platform on which I would often spend the afternoons when it wasn't too hot. I could read there, propping myself against the bole of the tree with the cushions taken from the drawing room. Treasure Island, Huckleberry Finn, the Mowgli stories, and the novels of Edgar Rice Burroughs and Louisa May Alcott made up my bag of very mixed reading. When I did not feel like reading, I could look down through the banyan leaves at the world below, at grandmother hanging up or taking down the washing, at the cook quarreling with the fruit vendor, or at grandfather grumbling at the hardy Indian marigolds which insisted on springing up all over his very English garden. Usually, nothing very exciting happened while I was in the banyan tree, but on one particular afternoon, I had enough excitement to last me through the summer. That was the time I saw a mongoose and a cobra fight to death in the garden while I sat directly above them in the banyan tree.
Okay, I hope you understood something. Okay, some new words are here. Okay, what is the meaning of the word delve? It's a new word to you. It is search thoroughly to find something as if by digging. What is squabbling? Quarreling noisily. Squabbling means quarreling noisily. Okay, I'm going to ask you some questions. Who was the central character of this story? Yes, a boy. This story talks about a boy who lives with his grandfather at the foot of the Himalayas. Which was his favorite place though in his village? Yes, an old large banyan tree was his favorite place there. Who was his close friend in the tree? Yes, a small grey squirrel was his close friend. They were so close, they were so intimate that the squirrel showed enough courage to take food from his hand. The squirrel trusted him enough to take food from his hand. That much close they were. Okay? Okay, what happened to this tree in the spring season? Yes, you are correct. This banyan tree was the noisiest place in the garden during spring season. How? Different types of birds kept on chirping all day long. So this place, this tree, was the noisiest place in the garden during spring season. How did this boy spend his afternoons? It is there in the last paragraph, I think. Yes, the boy used to read adventurous books sitting on the platform he had built for himself halfway up the tree. He used to read his favorite books sitting there. One day, from here, he witnessed something that is there in the second part of the story. It's a surprise. Let's move to the second part. Open your textbook. We are going to read the second part of the story. Remember, underline new words, difficult words while reading, and refer your dictionary to get their meanings.
It was an April afternoon, and the warm breezes of approaching summer had sent everyone, including grandfather, indoors. I was feeling drowsy myself and was wondering if I should go to the pond behind the house for a swim when I saw a huge black cobra gliding out of a clump of cactus and making for some cooler part of the garden. At the same time, a mongoose, whom I had often seen, emerged from the bushes and went straight for the cobra. In a clearing beneath the tree, in bright sunshine, they came face to face. Cobra knew only too well that the grey mongoose, 3 feet long, was a superb fighter, clever and aggressive. But the cobra was skillful and experienced fighter too. He could move swiftly and strike with the speed of light, and the sacs behind his long, sharp fangs were full of deadly venom. It was to be a battle of champions. Hissing defiance, his forked tongue darting in and out, the cobra raised 3 of his 6 feet off the ground and spread his broad spectacled hood. The mongoose bushed his tail. The long hair on his spine stood up. In the past, the very thickness of his hair had saved him from bites that would have been fatal to others. Though the combatants were unaware of my presence in the banyan tree, they soon became aware of the arrival of 2 other spectators. One was a myna and the other a jungle crow, not the wily urban crow. They had seen these preparations for battle and had settled on the cactus to watch the outcome. Had they been content only to watch, all would have been well with both of them. The cobra stood on the defensive, swaying slowly from side to side, trying to mesmerize the mongoose into marking a false move. But the mongoose knew the power of his opponent's glassy, unwinking eyes and refused to meet them. Instead, he fixed his gaze at a point just below the cobra's hood and opened the attack. Moving forward quickly until he was just within the cobra's reach, he made a feint to one side. Immediately the cobra struck. His great hood came down so swiftly that I thought nothing could save the mongoose. But the little fellow jumped nearly to one side and darted in as swiftly as the cobra, biting the snake on the back and darting away again out of reach. The moment the cobra struck, the crow and the myna hurled themselves at him, only to collide heavily in midair. Shrieking at each other, they returned to the cactus plant. A few drops of blood glistened on the cobra's back. The cobra struck again and missed. Again the mongoose sprang aside, jumped in and bit. Again the birds dived at the snake, bumped into each other instead, and returned shrieking to the safety of the cactus. The third round followed the same course as the first, but with one dramatic difference. The crow and the myna, still determined to take part in the proceedings, dived at the cobra. But this time they missed each other as well as their mark. The myna flew on and reached its perch, but the crow tried to pull up in midair and turned back. In the second that it took him to do this, the cobra whipped his head back and struck with great force, his snout thudding against the crow's body. I saw the bird flung nearly 20 feet across the garden, where, after fluttering about for a while, it lay still. The myna remained on the cactus plant, very wisely refrained from interfering again. The cobra was weakening, and the mongoose, walking fearlessly up to it, raised himself on his short legs and with a lightning snap had the big snake by the snout. The cobra writhed and lashed about in a frightening manner and even coiled itself about the mongoose, but all to no avail. The little fellow hung grimly on until the snake had ceased to struggle. He then smelt along its skewering length and, gripping it round the hood, dragged it into the bushes. The myna dropped cautiously to the ground, hopped about, peered into the bushes from a safe distance, and then, with a shrill cry of congratulation, flew away. When I had also made a cautious descent from the tree and returned to the house, I told grandfather of the fight I had seen. He was pleased that the mongoose had won. He had encouraged it to live in the garden to keep away the snakes and fed it regularly with scraps from the kitchen. He had never tried taming it because wild mongoose was more useful than a domesticated one. From the banyan tree, I often saw the mongoose patrolling the four corners of the garden, and once I saw him with an egg in his mouth and knew he had been in the poultry house. But he hadn't harmed the birds, and I knew grandmother would forgive him for stealing as long as he kept the snakes away from the house. The banyan tree was also the setting for what we were to call the strange case of the grey squirrel and the white rat. The white rat was grandfather's. He had bought it from the bazaar for 4 annas. But I would often take it with me into the roots and branches of the old tree, banyan tree, where it soon struck up a friendship with one of the squirrels. They would go off together on little excursions among the branches. Then the squirrel started building a nest. At first, she tried building it in my pockets, and when I went indoors and changed my clothes, I would find straw and grass falling out. Then one day, grandmother's knitting was missing. We hunted for it everywhere, but without success. Next day, I saw something glinting in the hole in the banyan tree. Going up to investigate, I saw that it was the end of grandmother's steel knitting needle. On looking further, I discovered that the hole was crammed with knitting, and amongst the wool were 3 baby squirrels, all of them white. Grandfather had never seen white squirrels before, and we gazed at them in wonder. We were puzzled for some time, but when I mentioned the white rat's frequent visit to the tree, grandfather told me that the rat must be the father. Rats and squirrels were related to each other, he said, and so it was quite possible for them to have offspring. In this case, white squirrels.
Okay, children, now look at the new words with its meanings. Aggressive. What is the meaning of this word aggressive? Yes, it's quarrelsome. Quarrelsome. Mongoose is a quarrelsome animal. We can say mongoose is a quarrelsome animal. Defiance. Defiance means opposition. Defiance, its meaning is opposition. Then what is darting? Is it a new word to you? Yes, darting means moving quickly. Darting, moving quickly. Reap, I think it's a new word to you. Reap, twist. Glisten. Glisten means shine. Okay, if you have underlined more, refer your dictionary to get their meanings. Okay, children? Now, I'm going to ask you some questions. Tell me, what did the boy witness from the tree? Yes, he witnessed a thrilling fight between a mongoose and a cobra. Who were more powerful, mongoose or cobra? What do you think? Who is more powerful, cobra or a mongoose? Yes, both of them were very powerful. Both of them were clever and skillful fighters. They were aggressive too. You have seen that word, aggressive. Aggressive means quarrelsome. They were aggressive too. They are like fighters, warriors. Their fight was like the battle of champions. The boy said that their fight was like the battle of champions. The fight was witnessed by two other spectators apart from the boy. Who were they? Yes, a myna and a crow. And a myna and a crow also witnessed this fight. Did they join the fight? Yes, you are correct. They also joined the fight. How? How did they join? They hurled themselves at the cobra. Then what happened? Many times they hurled themselves at the cobra. Finally, the crow was struck by the snake and fell dead on the ground. How sad it is. Many times they hurled themselves at the cobra. Finally, this crow was struck by the snake and fell dead on the ground. When did the fight end? It was like the fight of champions. When did this fight end? Yes, it continued till the cobra was killed. After killing the cobra, mongoose dragged him to the bushes. Myna became so happy that mongoose won the battle. Another eventful thing happened in this story. What was that? Yes, another eventful thing that happened in this story was the meeting of the boy with 3 white baby squirrels. This was the another eventful thing that happened in this story. The boy's meeting with 3 white baby squirrels. We can see that this banyan tree was also a setting for a strange affair between this grey squirrel and a white rat that was brought from the market by this boy's grandfather. This banyan tree was also a setting for their affair. A strange affair. Others says that it was a strange affair between these two animals. Grandfather told the boy that these 3 white baby squirrels were the offsprings of this white rat and grey squirrel. Okay, this is the end of this story. I think you understood it well. Okay, children, I hope you understood this story well. It's a very important story. Okay, I'll repeat the summary. This story talks about a boy who lives with his grandfather at the foot of Himalayas. His favorite place was, he was the owner of a large old banyan tree that had squirrels, butterflies and snakes. He befriended a grey squirrel in the tree. They were so intimate that the squirrel trusted him enough to take food from his hand. In the spring season, this banyan tree was the noisiest place in that garden. From there, sitting there, he spent his afternoons reading books. Reading adventurous books, he used to spend his afternoons. From there, one day, he witnessed a strange sight, a fight between a mongoose and a cobra. In that fight, mongoose won and the cobra was killed. Okay, I hope you understood this story well. Now, I'll show you some important possible discourses from this story. Okay, this is activity 2 in your textbook. The boy was very much thrilled by his acquaintance with the squirrel. He writes a letter to his friend telling him about his new friend. Help him to complete the letter. Try to do this assignment. It's a letter. The boy is writing a letter to his friend, telling him about his new friend, the squirrel. Next assignment is also activity 3 from your textbook. Watching the nature around us is really interesting. Watching the nature around us is really interesting. Each and every living being has its own characteristics. The boy in the story narrates certain features of a few animals. List them out. Try to do this activity also. Next one, third one. You can see some pictures there. Based on these cut lines, prepare a narrative. It's an important question. You can expect this question for your examination also. It's very important. Next assignment. And among the wool were 3 baby squirrels, all of them white. The boy couldn't stop wondering about the white squirrels. If he scribbled down this unforgettable sight in his diary, how would it be? Diary entry. So also an important discourse. Diary entry. Who is writing this diary? The boy. Situation? He couldn't stop wondering about the white squirrels that he had seen were in the banyan tree, in the nest in the banyan tree. Okay, try to do this activity. Next one. A single banyan tree creates such beauty and harmony. How will it be if we have such beauty everywhere? What would we do for the conservation of nature? A single banyan tree creates such beauty and harmony. How will it be if we have such beauty everywhere? What would we do for the conservation of nature? Prepare a write-up. This is also an important question for your examination. Try to do a write-up on what you should do or what you would do for the conservation of nature. This is also an important question. This is the end of this class. I hope you understood it well. See you in the next class. Thank you.